You're listening to Burnt, and this is episode number 4.
Hey, I'm Lauren.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and some days we're burnt out.
And some days we're burning it down. This is Burnt, a podcast where you're not going to find us reading off of a script.
These are real, unfiltered, raw conversations between two moms, two women, and all of our friends.
We got a lot of friends, and we are all fired up and ready to make some change.
We're ready to burn it down, and we want you to join us on this journey where we aren't just burning it down, but we're figuring out how to fix it and rebuild it.
Because you got to scorch a little earth, controlled burn, before something beautiful can grow.
Join us every week here for Burnt, wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. Hey friends, if you are enjoying what you're hearing from Lauren and I, please leave those 5 stars, give us a review, and we will more than happily share it. Share it with everybody, all of your friends and family, because the more people who hear this, the better the world will be. Hey friend.
How are you? We're just making the world better over here.
I'm going to claim that, yes.
I think some of the feedback I've been getting from friends who are hearing us in this podcasting format for the first time together, they are enjoying the way that we're mixing levity and laughter and humor, and also with some pretty heavy topics that we're covering. So I appreciate that mix with us, and I love hearing the feedback that it's resonating.
I love that. And all that feedback, everybody just write it in a review, please.
I love it.
That's all we ask for, a little review, make it big. Yeah,
right?
Make it rain with reviews, please.
I love it. So how are you holding up today as we record? It's the Rapture.
Today's the day.
Today is the day.
And yet I woke up, my family woke up, we're all still here. They're at school. So did it happen and we're left behind?
Mm-hmm. I have yet to determine this. I've definitely saved several TikTokers so that I know I can go back and look and see how they respond. I don't know if you've seen these in your algorithm. It popped up for me on Saturday for the first time. Because I spend a few minutes every day just scrolling to see what the discourse is. And usually my algorithm is pretty tight when it comes to the type of content that it gives me. And then out of nowhere, I get a woman named Melissa who was in her home talking about how she was preparing her home for those who would be left behind in the rapture. And I thought it was satirical at first. I was like, there's no way this is real. And lo and behold, sure is. I've seen mothers saying goodbye to their babies. And
so do you not get to take your family with you?
No, I think the family goes, but I actually don't fully understand. She was, and the instinct in watching this mother sitting on the floor with her baby, it's been an honor to be your mother. And she's beside herself and she's kissing this baby. And the first thing you think when you see it is that the baby has a terminal illness and that this is a mother's way of grieving. And then you realize, no, it's the rapture that she's referencing. And I remember hearing about the rapture, especially during Y2K. That was my senior year of high school. I graduated in the year 2000. And I remember that it was a thing. It was definitely quite the moment.
So as you say this, I'm picturing this mom who has set up her tripod. She has set up the video. She's like, I'm going to bring on the tears. And then it just reminds me of what we saw over the weekend with this pyrotechnic celebration, hours long, whatever you want to call it. I call it a social media content creation opportunity in which I've been slammed for. But that's exactly what this Rapture mom apparently is doing, because they are planning this content. They're going for emotions. They're recording it. Because let's be honest, if you or I knew that the world was ending tomorrow, would we be thinking, oh, what kind of social media content can we create out of this? And then see if we can go viral before we kiss our babies goodbye. I don't know where the accent comes from, but I feel like you got to have fake blonde hair. We got to have a lot of Botox. We're going to get lots of makeup. And then we're going to be like, oh my God, the world is ending. My poor babies.
The accent's amazing. If I truly thought that the world were ending, there are so many, like, okay, actually that's a fun question. What would you do if the world was legitimate? Like if the world is ending, the rapture is coming, how would you spend that last few days? Because they started posting on Saturday, at least when I saw it, and they were one woman was, we only have 3 days left. There are only 3 days. And so if I had 3 days left before the world was going to end, like, what would you do?
I'd probably reach out to people like yourself, be like, I love you. You're awesome. Like, I'll see you in the next realm. And then I would eat a lot of sushi and go find a beach and just play on it with my kids. I think that's what I would do. I'd throw the phone away. I would not be making TikTok videos. I'd be like, let's enjoy this time that we have,
Yeah.
period. And I would eat sushi, like a lot,
I
maybe
would,
have some wine.
oh yeah, a lot of wine. A lot of wine. Mine would definitely involve a lot of food. I think I would hit the bougiest grocery store that is still open, because I'm assuming if the world is ending and they aren't going to work. But wherever I can access the bougiest ingredients, everything I've ever wanted to make, because I love cooking, especially cooking with my family, I would go find as many,
Lobster.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything just really decadent and over the top. Yeah, if I was near a beach, I would definitely try to get to a beach, but I would spend as much time in nature with the people I love. And there are probably some people I think I would reach out to who things feel unsettled between us, that I would make some phone calls, or go for a walk, and try to heal some things.
So, like normal
Yeah.
things,
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't be on social media at
cry.
all. No, I mean, I cry enough on social media as it is. Like, I don't, that's not how I would want to spend my final days. Yeah, it's a very strange thing to witness. And I've made light of it a little bit, just in the aggressiveness at which they are approaching this. It reminds me very much of, I'm a Swiftie, and there have been multiple times where I'm like, okay, she's releasing Taylor's version of Rap. Like, that is coming out. Like, these are the hints. This is why, this is the date. And I'm not one of the aggressive Swifties that's like actually doing the research and like trying to put the puzzles together. I don't go the extra mile, but I watch and I pay attention, and I'll be like, okay, this is it. Like, yep, I agree with this theory. And and Taylor's version of Reputation will never be released, because she's announced she's never releasing it. And I think that is kind of similar to the Rapture, is because it's not even biblical. The Rapture, it was made up by some dude in the 1800s, and it's not referenced in the Bible. Like, it feels very extreme to me.
Which is exactly what I believe they all are.
Yeah.
It's very extreme. It's black and white, and there is no gray. And I think that it comes back to our entire political climate, that
Yeah.
for certain people, it is black or it is white, period, end of story. You cannot be both. You cannot. It all reminds me of the common sense. It reminds me of gun laws. It reminds me of, you don't have to be this way to be okay with others.
Mm,
You can own a gun and believe in common sense gun laws.
hmm.
You can be a Christian and allow others to be what they want.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing this extremist, whether we're talking about extremists like on the terrorism side, or we're talking about extremists on the Christian side. Like, to me, this is not Christian. I don't believe at all that the hate that is being spewed is Christianity by any definition. Any definition. And I'm sure that people want to come at us, oh, you said that we're not Christians, but well, we hate you, you old hag. Yes, I know, it's fine, but
Yeah.
that's not something Christian like to say. But you're going to this extreme, and
Yeah.
while also hounding social media. So
It's fascinating. I feel sad, honestly, for them that this is, and I think that there's this conditioning that they have been fed to bring them to this point, and it feels very sad to me. And also, this kind of thing is what drove me away from the church. And when I say that, I should be clear. How do I want to word it? I very much believe in the principles that Jesus represented and those teachings. I am very spiritual. I believe that God is in my backyard right now in the trees. And when I am barefoot in the grass, God is there. And when my kids are giggling, God's there too. I don't have to go to a church to experience God. So I have my own relationship with God and the universe and spirituality that doesn't fit inside the four walls of a church. But it very much used to. I think we've talked about it I can't remember if we've talked about it during a recording or not, but I was in it. I was looking for belonging. I was looking for acceptance in a very vulnerable time. And so I joined a youth group, and then that youth group kind of escalated to like another more intense youth group. And then I was in college, and then I was part of Campus Crusade for Christ. And then Campus Crusade for Christ put together this whole campaign where we were chalk arting. Do you agree with Matt? Do you agree with Matt? Do you agree with Matt? And it was just like we were leaving these little breadcrumbs all over campus, and everybody, like, there were articles in the student newspaper, like, what is this? Who is Matt? And there were all of these different theories about what it meant. And then one day we all wore neon t-shirts that said, I agree with Matt. And then it naturally caused people to ask us what it was about. And that was our opening. That was our in, when we were like, I'd love to tell you about my Lord and Savior. And
who came up with this? This is the fascinating part, because I feel like this is what we see going on the right. There is somebody who is orchestrating this in the same way that somebody orchestrated what you're talking about. Somebody came up with this idea, and everyone around was like, bingo, this is how we're going to get them, and it's going to spread. Who was this mastermind that did this? Did it reach other schools?
Yes.
And then, what was the end result in all of this?
I mean, it definitely reached other schools, because there were other schools that it was like, do you agree with Joe? And it was, of course, always a dude. It was always a guy. And then there was and I think it was a Campus Crusade for Christ thing. And every campus picked one person to be that representative. And then that person was talking. And I remember at Purdue, specifically, not that long after this whole campaign, Matt and a couple other people were in a car accident and died. And so we took that to be like gospel, that this just makes his message even stronger. It was all supposed to happen this way. He's going to bring more people to the church. We're going to bring more people to the church. And it was this whole thing where his death amplified our feelings about the message and about what we were doing. And we thought that it was confirmation of this work that we were, air quotes, if you're listening and you're not watching. And there was very much this my salvation is tied to how many people I can bring into the church and how many people I can save. And if I can save these people, then I am then saved too. So that was very much the mindset. But this is not I was not raised in this kind of church experience. My upbringing was very, very different. My mom was Catholic. My dad grew up in a Christian church. Neither one of them wanted to raise us in those church environments. So my upbringing was very, very different and included learning about my Jewish ancestry and my ancestors who died in the Holocaust, and also respecting other religions like Buddhism and Hinduism. And so it was this like blip of extremist evangelical life was a handful of years, but it was enough information for me to, it's actually kind of triggering seeing how the Christian community is responding to Charlie Kirk, because it reminds me a lot of the way we responded to when Matt died. I mean, on a much smaller scale.
Something that you said really struck out to me, and that was the pressure to save others in order for you to find salvation yourself. Because I do not believe at all that it is my job to tell you how to save yourself, whatever that may mean. If you want to be a really shitty person, that's on you. It's not on me. And what happens when you're so distracted trying to save other people that it then hinders any chance of you actually having salvation, because you're so fixated on correcting people and hating other people who won't take your salvation or be saved themselves. How does that not affect where you're going? That's how I see it.
Totally. Well, and I now don't even believe in the concept of salvation. I don't even believe in the concept of hell. I think hell actually looks like
Today.
I know, right? We're in it. I mean, I'm from Indiana. When you drive into Indiana from Chicago, there is like you get into the cornfields away from the suburbs. There is a billboard that says on one side hell is real, and then on the other side of it it says Jesus is real. But every time we drive in and we are headed to visit my dad, I see this hell is real and I'm like, I know. We're there and we're in Indiana. Like we are here. But no, I think that there's such a hyperfixation on the idea of salvation that you forget to actually do good deeds in life.
Yes.
And this idea that somebody's going to hell for who they are or who they love or what they believe, and that you are personally driven to save them. Like that hyperfixation is so toxic and dangerous and kills people. Like people die because of that extremism. And so it has completely changed my worldview, like having been a part of that world for a minute. I look at things a lot differently and seeing what's happening now. And there's even, I need to be careful about how I dance around this. There is somebody in my life who I love very dearly, and I have not spoken to in over a year. Occasionally we will text each other to check in. We have not exchanged a text message since it's been, I mean, probably Christmas, maybe my birthday in February. Yeah, he texted me on my birthday. But so this is a family member, and our relationship shifted from getting to know each other and exchanging parts of our lives and stories and really building a relationship on that, which is what I like to build relationships on. And it shifted and turned into every single conversation was around whether or not I would walk a very specific path in order to get to heaven, because he would like to be with me in heaven, as a relative of mine who felt we did not get to grow up together and found each other later in life, and the relationship shifted from who I am as a person now and who he is as a person now, and turned into me feeling a lot of pressure that I am not walking this very specific path, and feeling like there's a lot of judgment, a lot of negative opinions about how I live my life, even though I do all of the things that he says he believes in, like volunteering and serving others and leading with love. It's because I'm not walking that very specific path. And it
You mentioned the
changes
word judgment. And
Yes.
this is an interesting one because I feel like it's on both sides, myself included. Like, I will be accused of the judginess because, we're not all encompassing of, whether it's LGBTQ rights or, pro-choice. Then it makes me the person who's judgmental because you won't accept people the way you are, but then you're judging everyone else who does not see your way as you're just judging them as we're not the good Christians, we're not doing our way. And so there's this huge judgment on both sides per se, because it just becomes confusing, I think.
Yeah.
Because I kind of do judge you if you are so closed-minded and hateful and bigoted. Like, what's your problem?
Minor detail. No, I mean, I think there's also that idea of a lot of the comments I see are like, so much for the tolerant left.
Right.
I don't tolerate hate. And also, I think a thing that I'm personally struggling with, I don't know how to exist in relationship with people right now if I know that they think I'm a bad person. Because in my heart of hearts, I know I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm a good person not because I'm performing and trying to be a people pleaser. I'm a good person because I genuinely feel deep empathy for others, and I follow that up with my actions. I don't just feel it and think it. I go forward. And so if I am doing the best I can, and I am not spewing hate all over the internet and all over my in-person relationships, and still there are people who are existing with me with a bad taste in their mouth because I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Christian in their sense of the word Christianity, and I'm not walking this specific path, and they are judging me for that. I'm truly struggling with it still. I've been struggling with it for a long time. I don't know how to exist in relationship with those kinds of people. And if that makes me intolerant, okay.
Same. So welcome to the judgy, intolerant leftist show.
We are here. Wait, there was something you said earlier. You said when you were talking about the memorial that happened on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And what was it that you used to describe it? The social media opportunity?
Mrs. Frazzled posted the clip where Erica comes out to her pyrotechnic stuff. And I said, this isn't a memorial service. This is a social media content creation op. Mm. It has gotten, as of this morning, it is Tuesday, September 24th, over 75,000 likes. My comment. She's had over 2 million views on this post. There's hundreds of comments to me, calling me soulless. I have a black soul. They're going to pray for my soul. I am an old hag. I look old. I should get off the internet. And I must be divorced. It's absolutely crazy. And yet I look at who is saying this and I take it with a grain of salt. Like 2 years ago, I might have been, oh my gosh, like, why are they so mean? Right. Now I'm like, really, you have a fake profile picture. I guarantee you are not good looking because that does not match. You have 0 posts or you have 0 followers. You're basically full of crap. That's cute. And I'm responding to some like, you're such a ray of sunshine. Thank you. Your hatefulness is really Christian, so touch some grass, you snowflake. Like, I'm trying to be very kind in my response,
Yeah.
but I'm laughing because I know I don't look like a 70-year-old, which they've said. Like,
Isn't it funny the way that they always, I've been getting some like, okay, middle-aged single mom on the internet. Like, okay, I'm not a single mom, and even if I was, there's nothing wrong with that or shameful
but tell
about
us
that.
what you really feel and how you're judging people.
Yeah. But like, isn't that funny that that's where you go and that's what you think is insulting?
And I didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk. I didn't say anything about Erica Kirk. I just said the pyrotechnics look to me like a social media content creation opportunity.
I would not say that you're wrong. And what you said is a lot nicer. I've been very careful about what I have said online about Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk, and the memorial in general, but verbally, it was a it was a Klan rally. It was like it looked like that Nazi. Can I say Nazi on the podcast?
Yeah,
Is
we
that
just
like
did.
flagged? Okay. Um, I don't know the rules. I know we can say fuck, but it looked like the fucking rally in Madison Square Garden was that 1940? I mean,
They sold merch. So
they
everybody who's coming at me like, I was told I don't have fun friends because if I had fun friends, then the celebration of lives that I attend would include orgies and bars.
excuse me?
That's one. Yeah, that was the most recent one. I've been to many celebrations of life, memorials, funerals. I started going to funerals when my father passed away at age 7. So the amount of funerals I have attended far outweigh anything that any of these people have attended. I promise you that. Nobody has ever attempted to sell a t-shirt
I was going to say,
at
how many of
any
them had a
event.
merch table?
None of them, not a single one. None of them have had fireworks. None of them have had people who get up to eulogize, air quotes, and spew how much they hate their opponents. These are not celebrations of life, people.
No, it's
That
a
it,
it's
it,
it's a
it's a political
propaganda.
rally. It was like an RNC convention, so let's call it what it is. And you had all of these politicians getting together and spewing whatever they wanted to. And then we prop up Erica Kirk because she's the new CEO. And then you have the logos of their PAC, Political Action Committee. So not just the nonprofit arm, it was political. Just like everything in our lives is political, so was this so-called celebration of life. It was political, period.
I mean, all you got to do is listen to Stephen Miller,
Oh, I
current
didn't. No, I
day.
won't. I refuse.
No, don't.
I'm going to pretend it's the rapture and it's my last day and I won't waste my time listening to fools.
First of all, if people are gonna get on the internet and talk about our age and like, yeah, we're middle aged, fine, okay. But you know who's younger than me? Stephen Miller. Stephen
really?
Miller is younger than both of us, and that man is like evil. Just has to eat away at your soul and at your exterior because, but Stephen Miller, everything that he said, it is just hate filled. And one thing that that I've learned recently, are you familiar with Horst Wessel? He was German. He was a far right-wing extremist and member of the Nazi Party. And he died in 1930 when he was 22. And Joseph Goebbels, who I equate to Stephen Miller, and I learned about Joseph Goebbels when I was studying marketing in college. And I think that there is a lot, and Stephen Miller's speech at this pyrotechnic stadium show mimics a speech that Joseph Goebbels gave. Like there are phrases that are overlapping and it's very jarring. You would almost think that he's taking notes from the Joseph Goebbels playbook and like quite literally taking notes and putting them into action now. But so Goebbels took the opportunity of the death of, and I don't remember if he even, I think he was, so Horst Wessel, when he was 22 in 1930, was shot in a dispute with somebody else. It was with a member of the communist-aligned Red Front Fighters League. I admittedly don't really know much about the Red Front Fighters League. And anyway, Goebbels took that opportunity to specifically turn him into a martyr. And they turned his funeral into this whole spectacle, and they put tons of propaganda out specifically with the intention to make him into a martyr, because when you have a martyr, you can more easily activate your base, and even the people who are not part of your base but are more peripheral, you can instill a lot of fear and a lot of intensity. So just listeners, look into Horst Wessel. I don't know how I mean, I've got...
don't, and just trust us on this.
Yeah. I have been making comparisons to 1930s Germany since February. And it's in my Instagram. I've got reels where I'm talking about it, and I know that is a very intense comparison to make, and that people are really rattled by, well, you're calling them Nazis. Well, the comparison is there. It's literally in history. Just read a book. Look at, like, not even read a book. Just Google. It's
right there in your face, everybody. Like, and of course, we're talking to people right now who believe all of this as well. Right. So I feel like we're preaching to the choir.
Right.
And the question then still remains, how do we come over that barrier and reach those people who believe that they are on the right side of history, that they are saving people by doing this? It's really disturbing. There is so much work to be done. And again, how much of this is our job? I don't know. I think that I look at what's going on right now not as it is my job to turn your opinions, your beliefs, your values, everything around. I look at my job as protecting those who you are going against. That is how I want to show up. You want to keep living your life and be all wackadoo and black and white, that's on you. But I'm going to stand up and protect those that you continue to put down and vote against and do bad things to.
Yeah. Well, and as you said that, it brings me back to the idea of trying to tie our own salvation to saving somebody else. We cannot save and change the opinions of people who are so deeply rooted in this mindset. Because it is, I imagine when you are surrounded by people who think this same thing, it has to be exponentially harder to extract yourself from it and to consider a different opinion, if it's in your church, if it's in your neighborhood, if it's in your family. And this is just the thing that creates that sense of belonging. We all want to belong. We all desperately want to belong and be loved and to be seen as doing the right thing. And I think that that's where this all is rooted in. And there is a blindness to being able to see when that desire, intense desire for belonging, turns into harming others and hating others and seeking to inflict violence. Because let's come back to, I think that we talked about this last week, the violence that is politically motivated or extremist motivated, 70% of that since 1993, or 73%, it's somewhere in that neighborhood, is all right-wing extremists. It is not left-wing extremism. And there are definitely left-wing extremists. I literally blocked somebody yesterday and deleted a comment that was Like I replied to this super extreme person on the left, and it was one of the craziest exchanges I've ever had, even crazier than I've had with some right-wing extremists. And I typed out like fuck all the way off in all caps, and then I deleted it, and I was like, I'm just gonna block this person. Like, this is just, we've been back and forth for hours, and I'm just not
It's a waste of time and energy.
Yeah. So all of that said, like I can understand how it's hard to extract yourself and to start to think about something differently. But when you said that people who are listening to us are the people who are already there and already agreeing with us, I wonder though, if there's anybody who's like hate listening because they know us in real life and they want to see what we are saying about them or saying about what's happening. Like I have people who hate watch me all the time.
It's fun you mentioned that because I never think of that. I have a friend who she will remind me of, well, you never know who's watching. You never know who might be taking a screenshot of something you've said and like told someone else. I'm like, nobody's watching me.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I'm like, they're not watching. They're not listening. Nobody, I'm writing a Substack into a void. She's like, no, you're not. But that's how I feel. That is my attitude of like, nobody's really listening, Lauren.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think some of them might be because
Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome.
Right. Hi. If you're hate listening, thank you for the engagement.
Thanks for the download.
And maybe also we can like find, I think at the end of the day, we do have more in common with each other as humans than we don't have in common. So I mean, I got a message from, and I think I've referenced her here too, a family member who I don't know if she realizes that when I'm a collaborator on a post and she gets it in her algorithm because I'm a collaborator, but she sees it's coming from a different account, she will comment. And finally, I addressed it directly this week. And I was like, hi, I don't know if you realize that I get this notification because we're friends. Like, we know each other.
This is how social media works.
Yeah. But I'm like, everything you just said in this comment is factually inaccurate. Please just copy and paste it, put it into Chat GPT and ask it to fact check. Like, that's all you have to do. Don't trust me. I'm not going to ramble at you. And then she didn't respond to that comment, but she sent me a direct message with a link that she thought proved the comment that she made. And I said, thank you for this link. Actually, this doesn't validate what you said. And maybe I can understand why you would go to Fox News as your resource because that's where but here's a link from the BBC. Like I like to get information and look at what other countries are saying about what's happening here. So people are watching us, and then we can choose to engage with them in a way that has grace and compassion. But then if they go really off the rails, and it's fuck all the way off, all caps.
Yeah, don't call us names. Like we don't deserve it. And we look really good for 44.
Thank you. I think so too.
I'm just going to say that. And I'm not some conceited person, but to say that I look 70, that's hilarious.
It's factually inaccurate. I mean, I am sleeping with stickers all over my forehead because who can afford Botox in this economy?
I've never done it.
I
can move my eyebrows.
Right. I am very expressive. And that's why I've never actually done it because my nose crinkle is one of my favorite things about myself. And that's when you can tell I'm really, truly happy in photos is if I have a crinkly nose. I used to hate it. It was like my least favorite thing in the world about myself. And now I love it. And so I've been afraid of Botox taking away my expressiveness. So I've never done it. But now I just sleep with stickers all over my forehead because in this climate, if I didn't have the stickers, I would just sleep like this all the time. Like it would just grinding my teeth is bad enough.
Yes, I sleep with a night guard.
Yeah. I love the like the full circle.
We give it all to you here. Give it all to you here. From beauty lessons to spiritual guidance to everything in between.
To just like TikTok scrolling.
Yeah. And how social media works for those of you who don't understand collab posts. We see your comments.
We see your comments. Sometimes we engage, sometimes we don't.
but we see.
We sure do.
Okay, friend. Till next week.
Until next week.